that these bonds you're making are for a lifetime. Look around the room and you'll see they really are. Laura's up here with me today. The reason I'm up here is because several Alpha Phi sisters heard that the chapter did not have something very special to the chapter. And we have a special gift that we want to give to the chapter today. So, Laura, if you want to invite them up.
Yes, I'd like to have the executive officers come up. President Ashley Thornton, Vice President Recruitment Megan Ekstrom, Vice President Program Development Miranda Billy, Vice President Chapter Operations Becca Murta, Vice President Marketing Rachel Spears.
And before we give you your gift, I would like to read off the names of the people that are responsible for this. And if you're here, I would ask that you come up to the podium also with these girls. Camilla Johnson Fanati, Susan Jeffords Dorsey, Kathy Clausen Wright, Patty Morris Ripke, and I hope I pronounced your name right, Patty. Jane Frederick Hager, Karen Wilson Casey, Kim Walker Smith, Donna Garrett Marshall, Sharon Burrows Arnold, Becky Lynn Sanchez, Laura Stanzel Lewis is already up here, and I am. Trish Thompson Schwinson, Arlene Corbs Walters, Jeannie Adams Gallman, Melinda Ham Megan, Martha Jo Griswold, Karen Reed Oney, Cindy Ann Duncan, Janetta Stringer Whitecotton, Bill Tate Turrentine, Patty Ship, Alice Getty Crumpler. Now, we have a very special gift for this chapter. We heard that y'all were using an old trophy cup or a new trophy cup in your loving cup ceremony. And that just won't do, girls. We want to present to the chapter this loving cup. Don't run off yet, because I want to tell you a little bit about why we did this. Not just because the chapter needed a loving cup. We're presenting this loving cup in memory of Terri Reed Goff. Terri pledged with Camilla and I in 1976. She was our chapter president in 1979 and 80. And the engraver was not able to engrave the loving cup itself. So we're presenting y'all with a plaque to set on an end table or whatever that tells where you got your loving cup. Now, and I want to thank very much the sisters standing behind me that helped us do this. First night of Rush, we were standing out in front of the Alpha Phi house, and all of y'all go back to that first night. You don't know anybody. I met Camilla, who's back here behind me, and a girl named Terri Reed. And we became instant friends. The first semester, we were friends, and we all ran around together. And then in January, Terri and I moved in together. And we stayed together until we graduated in May of 1980. For those of you that didn't know Terri, I'm just truly sorry you didn't. She was such a unique person. Camilla and I have been talking about some things that we might say about her. One thing I want to tell you about Terri, first of all, the word that comes to my mind is determined. She was a very determined individual, and I will give you an example of that. One day it had snowed and iced and sleeted all day, and we were not able to go to class. But that night, we were going to go to the ice house. Yes, ma'am. All of you. So we start out in Terry's Monte Carlo, And somewhere along the way, we slid off into the ditch, big ditch. There was a wrecker out there pulling people back onto the road right and left, and he was kind enough to get us back onto the road, and we're sitting on the road, and I said, well, Terri, what are we going to do now? She said, we're going to the ice house. We made it that night. Terri was also, she had a wonderful sense of humor. In spite of being such a good leader, she was a very funny person. She dated a boy in college named Eddie Gaw, and as you can tell, they later married and had 2 sons. But in college, Terri had these imaginary children. They lived in our closet in the Alpha Phi house. And occasionally we would be walking around on campus and we would see them. And Terri would say, Teddy, get back in that closet. Edwina, what are you doing out of that closet? And they would be just little fat students or whatever, the ugliest you could find. And of course we would all just fall out laughing. And that was just Terri. She reeked of self-confidence. Did she not, ladies? She reeked of self-confidence. She was a born leader. When it came time to elect a president, there was no doubt in our mind who would be our president. Camille and I were talking coming over here. If Terri said do it, we did it. We didn't question her. She was our leader. She led us down a lot of good roads, a lot of icy and slippery roads maybe that we shouldn't have been on. But all in all, if you knew Terri, I believe that you would say that you respected her, you admired her and looked up to her, you wanted to be like her, but most of all, you would love her. And at this time, I'm going to stop talking about Terri, but I want to ask if there's anybody behind me that would like to share a story about Terri, or if you have a word that describes her that comes to mind. And if so, I'll turn the mic.
On the way over, Carabeth and I were talking about our stories, and I told her the word that comes to my mind is charming. Terri could charm anybody. Besides being such a strong leader, you wanted to follow her. You wanted, like Carabeth said, you just wanted to be in her presence because she was just a remarkable young lady, and I felt honored to be her friend and her sister.
This is very emotional for us, so I understand I know we have lots of memories. Cindy, come on up. It's okay if you cry, sweetheart.
Pure southern honey, sweet as you could be. I was blessed enough to have both of the Reed girls in my life. Karen was my big sister. Terri was my little sister. And actually, Eddie Gaw was my big brother as a KA. And he's from Marshall. I'm from Marshall. Both the Reed girls married boys from Marshall. And so I've been very blessed to be a part of their lives through Alpha Phi. And she was just everything and more Carabeth said. She was precious.
Sissy, would you come and let me introduce you? I won't make you talk. Come here. All of us in the room are Alpha Phi sisters, but this is Terri's biological sister also, Karen Reed. Karen was also chapter president, and Karen graduated before we got here, but we all called Karen Sissy. That's what Terri called her, and she became like a biological sister to us too. And we love you as much as we love Terri, sweetheart. Thank you. Okay. Now, in closing, I want the chapter and also all of our sisters to know that we owe a special thank you to Laura Stansel Lewis. The loving cup that y'all will be using and that you will hopefully pass down from generation to generation came from the Alpha Phi convention this year. Laura was at the convention, and she was able to secure this cup. It is a commemorative cup, and it does have some ivy that you can decorate it with. And I took it off today. I took the liberty of taking it off. To me, it took from the cup, and hopefully we may get to use it today. So, again, thank everybody, and use your cup, and when you drink of it, remember what